Hi, Rogue.
Hello, Zaxers.
We're gonna do something a little different today.
Okay.
Have you ever watched My So-Called Life?
No,
Do you have
I think you probably already are aware that I haven't watched that.
Yeah, but I was gonna do a lead-in question deal. Okay, anyway. So the plan is, since you haven't watched it anymore, I found a really good episode. I have watched the series all the way through, and I'm going to ask you some questions to find out what you would do in a situation, and then let you know how Claire Danes in the show handled the problem.
Okay.
So, diving right in, this is episode 3 of My So-Called Life, Guns and Gossip.
Good title.
I already let you know literally everything about the episode right there. Well, okay, so we start off with Claire Danes and she monologues throughout the whole thing. But what's weird is she also stares at people while this is going on, and
so it's like where they when they step out of the background into the foreground. Oh.
No, it's not like a Zach Morris timeout. So you're talking to me, and I'm and then I'm having an inner monologue, and then you stop talking, waiting for a response, and I'm still monologuing, so I'm just staring at you. So picture Adam Sandler in Click when he's fast forwarding. Okay, so her opening monologue is, people are always talking about how where they were when Kennedy was shot. They know to the exact second. And I wish I had something like that mattered to me.
What? Okay. I have important questions.
Okay, yeah.
Already. What year does this take place?
This episode aired 1993.
Okay. And how old are the characters?
They are in high school. I want to say 9th or 10th grade.
Okay, all right, got the setting down.
Yeah. So while this is going on, they're all passing notes really obnoxiously.
Of course, I mean, that's how you do it. From my understanding of high school dramas, that's how you that's the only way to pass notes.
The teachers just don't care. I guess I just went to the wrong school to get in on the
I know,
note.
have you seen those ones? It's basically a Rube Goldberg machine of students. I don't know how they coordinate this. If somebody kicked me a crumpled up piece of paper in high school, I would have just picked it up. How do they know what to do with it? It's so coordinated.
Yeah, some shows are at least a little, you feel a tug on the back of your shirt, and then someone goes, psst, and, points to another person. It's this covert, sneaky operation, because you don't want the teacher to see, because they'll come over, snatch the note, and then read it to everybody.
Read it out, yeah, exactly.
Not in this show. Teachers they're watching the movie or whatever, I don't know.
And maybe it was just my high school, but I don't even remember people passing notes, really, unless they were sitting right next to the person. It was never, across the room.
Especially because, I had a cell phone by the time I was in high school, though. So, if I needed to talk to somebody, we would just text. But I stopped passing.
But when I was in high school, it still cost money to text people. So, hardly anyone texted.
Yeah.
And it was T9, so who wanted to deal with that?
That's true, too. Yeah. I guess I had less to say, I think, too. So, even if I was the text, it was meet me at the vending machine. Just so we could, coordinate lunch.
Right.
But it wasn't we had some serious thing. But they're passing notes, and her best friend gets the note, and so she immediately is so... I would hate to include her in anything. She just makes everything so obvious. She's gets it, and she reads it, and she goes...
Wow.
That's literally... Yeah. I would hate to give her a note.
I don't know. I knew people like that in high school.
I mean, I guess, but that's her life the whole time, so it's not even about being realistic, it's just still annoying.
Okay.
So Claire Danes, while this is all going on, she's nobody knows anything important. We just pass notes about people, and we know that this kid Brian always gets stomach problems in the middle of class. So he goes to the bathroom, right on cue, because these are the things she knows. And while he's in the bathroom, she gets the note, and she reads what it says, and then it's about her. That doesn't matter yet, because there's a gunshot.
Okay. So it's a school shooter episode?
Well, it's a soda shooter episode.
I don't know what that means.
Well, Brian goes out of the bathroom, and the camera pans to a locker that has been shot, and the girl had a soda inside, so it shot right through, and now there's soda leaking onto the floor.
Is it at least Code Red? So
I think it was Dr. Pepper.
Oh, lame.
Not even red.
That's not artistic at all.
No. So now here's the first question for you. If you're a teacher, everyone hears the gunshot, everyone panics, they're all swarming to this kid Brian. You're the teacher, you go up to him. What's the first thing you do?
To the kid?
Like, he's the only one left at the scene of the gunshot, and you're a teacher coming to, like, assess the situation.
Ask him what happened.
Okay, well, this guy...
I guess.
Well, he just says, did you see who it was?
Oh, that's weird.
Right? Like, I feel like my gut would be like, are you okay?
Are you okay? Yeah, that's
like,
too.
What's going on? But not, like, did you see who the shooter was?
Yeah.
So, when that happened.
That's just weird phrasing in general. Like, nobody is like, did you see what happened? That would be normal. But did you see who it was? That's weird.
Yeah. But then we find out what the note said. And the note was a rumor is going around that Claire Danes and Jared Leto canoodled in his car.
Oh, Jared Leto is in this show?
It's his first thing, yeah.
I'm instantly on board.
Well, you know what? Hold that thought. He's still dreamy, but like, I don't know. I'm curious to see how you feel about him at a certain point in this. Like,
I don't know. People said that about Jared Leto Joker, and I didn't mind it.
I didn't mind him as a Joker, but like, okay, I hear ya. I'm just curious to see how you feel when we get to him a little later.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
We'll see.
We will. So Claire Danes is like, oh my gosh, everybody's talking about me. But literally next episode, she's going to be like, nobody's talking about me. I'm not even kidding. So, right, she asks Rayanne, are you like telling people? Because you're the only one I told. But you're in a car, it was you and Jared Leto. So I don't know why you would immediately jump to your best friend doing it, but whatever. So her best friend is like, no, I would never do that to you. So she's going to get to the bottom of things. She goes to Jared Leto and she's like, hey, you didn't talk about any of this stuff, did you? And then Claire Danes sees them talking. And so she like backward walks into a cop and the officer, because he's investigating the hole in the locker. And he just like smiles at her and is like, oh, sorry about that. And she just like awkwardly stares at him and like backs away like, what? And I'm like, I don't know, if you're a cop, what's your thoughts on that?
I mean, that's pretty suspicious, right?
Yeah, but I don't know. Nobody questions her. It's fine.
Or at least you'd be like, are you okay? Like, why are you being so weird?
That's a common question I feel like a lot of people in this show should just ask. Like, are you okay? Nobody does. Family dinner time and the mom is like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. I need to just drive you to school from now on forever. This just isn't safe. And then Claire Danes is like, ew, no, you're not driving me to school. And then the dad doesn't really say anything about it. So then they're in the kitchen talking and the mom's still freaking out about all this. And she's like, I don't know what to do. I can't. And he's like, I'm scared too. The world is unfortunately just not the safest place. I don't know what we could do, but panicking is not the answer. So that goes in one ear, right out the other. The mom's just going to continue to panic about everything. Then we're going back to Brian with the stomach problems because he's become like a mini celebrity in that everyone's like, you were there, you saw it happen, like what's the tea? And he doesn't really have any because he was like just came out of the bathroom. He sort of saw people running. And so he kind of thinks people are, like, he knows sort of who might be involved, but he hasn't really blamed anybody. But the principal brings him to his office because he wants to know what happened. And he's like, oh, well, I already told the teacher who was there, like, what happened. And he's like, yeah, but I want to hear it from you. So what was going on? He's like, oh, well, I kind of had an upset stomach, so I went to the bathroom. Basically, he wants to know what kind of bathroom Brian needed to use.
What?
He wanted to know if he was going number 1 or 2.
Why?
Because I don't know why. But it did. And are you even allowed to ask a student that?
Yeah, that's really creepy.
Yeah, it's he puts his hand on Brian's shoulder all the time, and he's using fear, not in that way, in a mob boss way.
Oh.
He's because he even says, he's like, this whole gun thing is ruining the spirit of the school, and I don't like when people mess with the spirit of the school. And it's he just went to the bathroom at the wrong time. I don't know what you want him to even say, because he's like, who are you protecting? And he's like, I'm not protecting anybody. I don't know who used the bathroom. And at one point, he even brings, like detectives into the office. So it's 3 grown men and this young 15-year-old boy who just had to use the bathroom.
Well, are they like suspecting him?
No, they just know he knows more than he's letting on.
That's so weird.
They're just convinced, like, unless he's like saw anyone pull the trigger and he's like, yeah, I saw who pulled the trigger, but I'm not telling you. Like, you have nothing to go off of.
Right.
Anyway, Claire Danes is freaking out because now all these guys keep looking at her and like saying hi to her because she was canoodled with Jared Leto. So, and like her best friend Rayanne is like, oh no, it's totally fine and this is just what you need so you can be with Jared Leto now like you wanted. She still doesn't like it and she's like, no, I don't want people to look at me like this. I don't know what she wants anymore. Then they have a school board meeting and Claire Danes' mom is convinced that she is going to get to the bottom of things. And this school board meeting is probably the worst part of the whole episode. Because it starts off with the principal, he's like, hey, you know, so we had all this going on. We just want to let you know about like some new protocols we're going to introduce because like we're taking this very seriously. And we also want to address you, the parents' concerns. The parents like immediately go into like riot mentality.
I love when they do that on TV shows. That's my favorite. Especially because like really serious issues, if you look at like school board stuff or like even PTAs, like if you ever see recordings of it, it's so boring. Even really serious issues. Like nothing ever gets as heated as they show on TV.
Yeah, that's really true. And it's like, and it's also like so weird because like Rayanne's mom is there, and Claire Danes' mom has never met the mom. Claire Danes' best friend's mom raises her hand, and she's like, I have something to say. And she does that thing where they start off peaceable, and then they get loud and mad. So she's like, my daughter Rayanne goes to this school, and so it's great that you hired a counselor to talk to the students, but what are you going to do about the guns? You know, the things that shoot? And then all the parents are like, yeah! And I'm like, okay,
yeah,
you
shoot.
can't... It's like, you can't check out guns at the administration office. What are you talking about? The principal doesn't have like a trench coat that he opens up and is like, hey kids, how about some firearms?
Yeah, but they don't know what goes on at their kids' school.
Yeah, and it's so weird because like they basically imply that like that was like what happened at the meeting, so I don't know if anything else even went down because we just panned to Claire Danes' mom going to the Rayanne's mom, and she says, oh, you know, I really liked what you said in there. I wish I could be that forceful. And then they start talking, and Rayanne has like a good relationship with her mom and tells her things. They were having this talk about how like their daughters didn't care about the school shooting, and they were just like, like we're not, like, why are you guys so freaked? Like, we're fine. So she was saying like, I totally get why your daughter doesn't care because she's dating Jared Leto.
That's a weird thing to say as a mom, though.
And like, well, she's a weird mom because she like we're supposed to get that she's like a weird mom, like, because later in the show we find out she like has like a cool like hippie apartment, like she does tarot cards and she smokes in Claire Danes' mom's face and stuff. She's not your conventional mom.
But that's like a different kind of weird mom than like saying, oh man, this high school student, if only I were 15 years younger.
Well, to be fair, all she said was that Claire Danes has complete taste.
That's still so strange.
Well, Claire Danes' mom is a little horrified by that, and she goes to the dad, and she's like, how can we not know that Claire Danes is like canoodling with Jared Leto? And the dad is like, well, we don't know that. Kids talk, and she just told her mom that. Like, we don't even know what the truth is. She's like, okay, well, we have to confront her. And the dad's like, well, I don't want to know, honestly. But
yeah.
And so he's just trying to make his dinner. And then Claire Danes walks in. And this is like kind of my like low-key favorite part of the episode because Claire Danes walks in and the dad's like, oh, here, try what I'm making. And she's like, this is good, cilantro, yummy. And they're like talking. And then the mom like looks at her and she's like, so, hey, who's Jared? And then the dad literally dips out. He's like, they show his face from 2 angles where he's like, ugh, and he just dips out. Then Claire Danes is like, Leto? And she's like, yeah. And then Claire Danes is like, well, what do you want to know? You brought him up. And she's like, well, I met your best friend's mom today, and she told me that you and Jared Leto were a thing. And then Claire Danes is defensive, and she's immediately like, wait, what did she say to you? Did she say we canoodled? And then the mom is like, what? No, of course not. She did, didn't she? Ugh, I hate everyone. And she storms off. Question. If you were Claire Danes' mom, what exactly would you be expecting out of that conversation?
Yeah, I mean, I was just about to say, like, so far, the most reasonable character seems to be her dad. Right?
Yeah, that's how I feel about
just like as a whole.
Yeah. Then
I'm shocked. You said this was the 3rd episode of this show?
Yeah. To be fair, the first episode has some pretty triggering topics as well that, like...
I just feel like this is, like, something that would happen well into a series. Like, I know the characters and how they normally behave and what... Like, on, 3 episodes, you don't even really know the characters yet.
Yeah, although watching this show and just thinking about the times and how it was kind of like, there were really, like, a lot of shows that were, like, as angsty as this show. Like, even Beverly Hills 90210 was pretty campy in comparison and in the time. So it seems like almost like it was kind of clickbaity, a show. Like, I mean, guns and gossip, like, right off the bat, too.
Right, yeah.
And, like, the last episode was about fake IDs and, like, it's just that kind of show.
Okay.
So we find out that her other friend Ricky, he's getting bullied a lot, and he was sort of at the scene of the crime. We never saw him holding a gun or anything, so we don't know what's going on, but we know that Brian sort of saw him, and so everyone is thinking that, like, Brian is covering for Rick. So there's a scene where we see him getting, like, bullied and, like, ruffled up by like, bullies. And he's, like, really defensive about it, and whenever anyone tries to talk about it, he just blows it off. But he's been acting weird and, like, saying weird things in class, like he wants people to think that he was more involved than we actually know him to be. So they're trying to make you think, like, oh, wow, Ricky shot a locker.
Because he was angry at the bullies.
Yeah.
Take that, bullies.
Yeah, this random girl's soda. It's so funny, too, because they, like, try to make that, like, the running joke of the episode. This one girl, she's like, I wanted that soda, and I was thinking about it in class, and then the gun went off.
I don't think that's a joke. I think, like, they were like, oh, man, you need to sympathize with this girl. Everyone has that feeling where they're like, oh, I'm looking forward to that thing, and then something happens, and you can't have it.
I would have thought that, but, like, after rewatching it, the tone of everybody else, like, she's in the counselor's office telling the counselor this, and the counselor looks at her like she's, like, totally unsympathetic. She's just, like, raised eyebrow, like, okay. And it's like, isn't this, like, your one job to talk
what the heck? That's rude.
Yeah, she's the most unprofessional counselor. Because then Claire Danes goes in, and she starts talking about the gun thing, but then immediately is talking about all the rumors circulating about her and Jared Leto. And so she's like, people just believe things that aren't true. And, like, they don't even care what the truth is. They just want to gossip. And then the counselor's like, who would just believe things that are false? And I'm like, that's not helpful at all. Because people lie all the time.
Yeah.
And rumors are spread all the time. I mean, I guess the counselor's only thinking about the gun thing.
I know, that's a pretty bad counselor then.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, all of the problems stem from this one thing, so I'm just gonna focus on that.
Yeah, true. Like, especially because of, like, your experience and everything. Like, there are tells and things, right? To look out for. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Then, right after her counseling session, she sees Jared Leto in the hall, but she doesn't want to look like she's looking at him. Like, I will say, he is so dreamy because he's literally putting in eye drops. And I'm like, aw, you're like a cute little druggie. Okay.
Alright, I need to look this up.
Okay. Google him in My So-Called Life, swoon a bit, and then I'll tell you what he's about to do next. And then we'll see how you feel about him. I'm really, like, I'm not even kidding. I'm genuinely curious to see how you feel about his actions as a character in this.
This is such a 90s looking show.
Isn't it?
Like, even the cover. Yeah, I don't know. He looks super 90s.
You're not as strong in your feels anymore because of his
No.
decade. Okay.
No.
Well, I'm glad because here's what happens. So he's aware because her best friend, remember, went up to him and was like, "You didn't spread the rumor." He's like, "I'm not that kind of guy." So he goes up to Claire Danes and he's like, "Hey, so like, I heard what people are saying and I just wanted you to be sure that you knew that I didn't say anything." And she's like, "Oh, yeah, no, of course not. I know." And it's like, oh my gosh, like, calm down. And he's like, and he's like, yeah, because, like, I'm not that kind of guy. So he, like, leans against the thing and he gets a little closer to her and he's like, it's kind of funny how, like, people talk, huh? And then she's like, yeah. And he's like, people, like, think that we, like, did it. And she's like, yeah. And then she just stares at him awkwardly. And, like, she started her monologue at this point. And he's saying, like, since everybody thinks we did it, we might as well.
I mean, that's fair.
And then she just stares at him. And then he's like, what do you think? And she's just like staring at his like collar, which is so weird. Because she's not answering him. And then it finally hits her like what he asked. And he's like, cause like it's not like it's a big deal or anything if we like did it or whatever. And she just like walks away. And he's like, okay, so like no pressure, think about it.
That's nice.
Okay. Well, you like surprised me a little bit, but
He
okay.
said no pressure.
I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. I kind of like. I thought it was going to be this huge, shocking thing, but like I could kind of guess that was coming.
I guess.
Or something like it.
Okay. I guess. I think I'm biased because I have episode 1 and 2 to go off of.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe because like I guess I've just here's I guess what my problem with his character is. And it's not really so much his character. Because I don't really expect anything more from him than this anyway. He knows that she likes him. Like, she's been very, very obvious that it's not just like one of the many other girls he's canoodled with. She is painstakingly interested in him. And he knows this because of the last episode when they were in his car and things didn't go any further because she wasn't ready. So I don't know why he's just like, we might as well, since everybody thinks so. So I guess I am a bit biased.
My first guess was going to be that he was the one spreading the rumor anyway.
Like as a tactic?
Yeah, kind of. So like he was spreading the rumor and then would be like, well, since it's already a rumor, might as well make it true kind of thing.
Okay. Well, hold on to that theory. Because now
okay.
So now we go home, and the mom wants to try to talk with her again. So she's in her room listening to Cranberries. And,
great.
Like, honestly, I really forgot about the song at first, and I heard it, and I was like, oh, yeah, I remember this one. This little number. Okay, so the mom comes in and she like turns it down and like she sits down to talk with her. And I feel like the mom needs to think of a game plan before she starts these talks, but she doesn't. So she sits with her and she's like, just wanted to talk. So now that you and Jordan are a couple, she's like, he's not my boyfriend, Mom. Okay, male pal, whatever he is. I just want to be sure that you guys are, and she's like, no, Mom, stop, I don't want to talk to, like, she's basically like covering her ears going like, la la la, I don't want to have this talk with you. And like finally, like the mom just says like, I just want to be sure that no matter what happens you're safe. And then Claire Danes is like, ugh, I'm not even canoodling with anybody. It's like embarrassing how little canoodling I'm even like close to doing. And then she's like, oh, phew, okay, wait, is that why you're like so stressed? Is that why you've been like all stressed out? And I'm thinking, well, no, maybe it's because you believe the random women you barely know that I'm like canoodling all over town.
Yeah.
But they don't address that. She just doesn't say anything pretty much. And then like the mom sort of tries to clean it up a little bit. And it's like, well, if you ever need to talk about anything, just know that I'm here. And like she tries to hug her, but like Claire Danes is like hugging herself. So it's like a weird putting my arms around you, and then she leaves. But like she leaves with like this sort of smile on her face, like that was a good talk. And I was like, was that supposed to be like good? Because that seemed like that all went horribly to me. Like, I thought that was all bad. So the next day at school, Jared Leto goes up to Claire Danes again and he's like, hey, I was thinking about what I said to you and I went about it all wrong. And so then Claire Danes says, like, no, I was thinking about what you said and I was thinking you weren't wrong at all. And she steps a little closer to him. And he says, no, you're right. So, like, other girls are like that, but you're not like that at all. And so I think I'm gonna just, like, tell people that we're not a thing so they, like, stop talking about it or whatever. And, like, we don't really even know each other that much. And, like, we don't mean anything to each other. So, like, all right. And then she's like, oh, thanks. He's like, that's the least I could do. And he leaves. And, like, she's just standing at the staircase, and her heart literally looks like it just dropped. Now, she always looks like that, but this time it was, like, even lower. And I was just like, Jared, she likes you. I guess his thing, though, is he's not gonna date her.
But I mean, I'm kind of on his side, though. Because, like...
Okay, tell me why.
He's right. Like, we hardly know each other. We obviously don't want the same things. So, like, why... Like, she's flipping out about the rumors, and he's just kind of, like, whatever about it. And he's like, I mean, might as well do it. And she was like, no. So he's like, all right, guess we don't want the same things. We don't really know each other. Like, why is that bad?
Actually, I didn't think this was possible, but you swayed me.
Yes.
I'm back with Jared Leto again. Like, okay, yeah, you're right. When you're right, you're right.
And then, like, I don't know, it's like a Grease situation kind of thing where she's like, no, I really am like that. But she's just saying that because she likes him. And it's like, you're just changing yourself because you like him. That's not good either. I'm very confused by this character because it seems like she doesn't know what she wants ever.
Yeah, no, she doesn't know what she wants. But after he breaks her heart again, which, like, honestly, throughout the whole show, it's not like this is anything new. So I don't know why she's always so surprised when he does this to her. But she goes outside because she's like, I need some air. And then she sees a car and she just goes inside it to talk to this other guy, Ricky, the best friend who was bullied and who everyone thinks is the shooter. And she finally asks him, like, hey, we need to talk about the gun because the principal has been talking to Brian and he's gonna report you. So you should just tell me the truth because there's obviously something I can do about this. So we find out what happened. And here's the story of why the locker got shot. Your theories before I tell?
I really don't have any because I was trying to figure out this whole time why someone would shoot a locker. And apparently that, like, there was nothing else that happened after that. So I'm just very confused about the situation.
Well, Ricky's cousin brought a gun to school so that he could sell it.
Yeah, like you do in high school.
Of course. And then Ricky tells him, hey man, what are you doing? I'm so mad at you for bringing a gun to school. And so they start arguing and the gun goes off, shoots the locker. And get this, then him and Claire Danes have a good hearty chuckle at this. His cousin got so scared by the gunshot that he peed his pants and ran off.
Oh my gosh, that is the worst explanation I've ever heard. That sounds like they didn't have a reason. They were like, well, we don't want anyone to get hurt, so we're just going to have it go off and shoot a locker. But why would that happen ever? And then they came up with that story, and it's terrible. They can't even explain. It went off. That's like the worst explanation for anything. Oh, we were arguing over it, and it went off. I hate this.
So far, I think from my main problems with the show, it's been like the handling of the gun, Claire Danes and her mom's relationship, Claire Danes and Jared Leto relationship. So I'm like 2 out of 3 as far as my points, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Here's my main problem with the show. Okay. That I found out when I was looking up Jared Leto. I was like, wow, he looks really old to be playing a high school student. So I looked up his age. He was 23 when the show came out. Claire Danes was 14 or 15. That really gives me the gibblies. I hate that so much. That they were even having like an on-screen relationship. That is so bizarre. I don't know why they did that.
Well, I'm going to finish up this episode and then I'm gonna tell you some other things because
Oh,
I'm done with this show after this, but I do want to tell you
okay.
some things that are factors of the show. So it ends with Brian going to the teacher, the principal again, and like the detectives are there and they're like, they open their notepad out and they're ready for him to say the name of the shooter. And he says, well, look, here's what happened. I saw two people run away. I didn't see anyone holding a gun. I just saw the hole in the locker. I have no evidence of who actually fired any weapon in this school. If you continue to talk to me, then I'm going to get a lawyer
I'm
until
gonna lawyer
ever.
up.
Yeah, basically. And he's like really triumphant. And I'm like, yeah, for you, Glen Coco, because like finally. Because it was really annoying that like the parents are mean to the principal, so he's mean to this kid. And it's just like all out of whack.
Right.
Oh yeah, and then they get metal detectors.
Oh,
That's how the episode ends.
okay. What a simple solution.
Yeah. It's also weird too because like they live in like a really good neighborhood, so like
Yeah, I was gonna say I live in like not that great of a neighborhood, and my high school no one ever brought a gun to school, but they did bring weapons to school a few times, and we would have to have lockdowns. We never had metal detectors. What the heck?
Also,
I don't think we even had like parent outrage about it.
yeah, it's so weird because like I mean metal detectors also bring down like property values and things. That's just not a good look unless you absolutely need them.
Yeah, like
And
one
then
incident that's I don't know.
like
And that sounds bad in like today's world, I guess, to be like, "Oh,
yeah.
one incident. Why are you making such a big deal?" But like 94, it really wasn't like a huge thing, especially in good neighborhoods, which
Yeah.
that's typically how dramas were set in the 90s as it is.
Yeah, for sure. So like that episode's over with and I never want to look at this show ever again. But in like episode 5 or 6, they drop a huge bomb on us that Jared Leto can't read.
What?
He can't read.
I'm, oh my gosh.
And then they don't talk about it for several episodes. But then they do like they just get him a tutor and then he can read. It's fine.
And then it's fine.
But like,
Oh my
here's my
gosh.
issue. They never explain how he did it. He's in like 10th or 11th grade and he can't read. He can't do
Right?
math. Like, how does he even, like, he can't, it's not like he could just get an A in math because, like, word problems, like, how is he
I guess he
doing
was just
this?
cheating his way through school.
Maybe he can write his name and so he just, like, put it on someone else's test forever.
Oh my gosh, that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Now, I would like to know also when I was looking up this information, I didn't look up any of the plot or anything, but Rotten Tomatoes scored it a 100%, which, based on how you explained it to me, I'm very shocked.
Really? It got, like,
Yeah,
on, like, the critic meter?
yeah, critics.
Well, you know what? I would say probably at the time it was so unlike anything else. So I'm not surprised it got 100% because a lot of people my whole life were like, you've got to watch My So-Called Life. It's so good.
Because I'm not into dramas for the most part, but I've never heard anyone rave about My So-Called Life.
Yeah, I don't really know how to like even close this off, but I guess we can just do it how My So-Called Life did and your cousin's gonna sell guns at school.
And also, I can't read.
Yay! Okay, bye.